I got on one knee at her favorite restaurant. "Will you marry me?" She laughed. "Wait, you're serious? I thought you were joking." I said nothing. Then I stood up and walked out. Her 47 missed calls that night. I, 31 male, got down on one knee at her favorite Italian restaurant. The one she'd been talking about for months, where she dropped hints about if someone proposed here, it would be so romantic. The ring box felt heavy in my hand. 3 months' salary, custom designed, her dream ring down to the specific cut she'd shown me a dozen times on Pinterest. The restaurant had dimmed the lights. Her favorite song started playing. I'd arranged everything. "Will you marry me?" She looked at me. Then she laughed, not a nervous giggle. A full laugh, head thrown back, eyes watering. "Wait, you're serious? I thought you were joking." The restaurant went silent. I could feel every eye on us. I stayed there kneeling, waiting for her to say she was kidding, to say yes, to say anything that made sense. She kept laughing. "Oh my God, get up. You're embarrassing yourself." I stood up, closed the ring box, put it in my pocket. "Where are you going?" she asked as I walked toward the door. I didn't answer. Just kept walking, got in my car and drove home to my apartment. The one I'd been staying at while she was at our place, the house I bought 2 years ago. The house with both our names on the utility bills, but only my name on the deed. My phone started blowing up before I even got home. Ignored it all. When I walked into my apartment, I sat on the couch in the dark for maybe an hour just thinking, processing 3 years. 3 years of building a relationship with someone who thought proposing to her was a joke. Then I got up and started making calls. My lawyer first. Yeah, I called a lawyer the same night. Probably seems extreme, but here's the thing. We weren't married, but we'd been living together in my house for 18 months. She had no legal claim to it, but I knew she'd try. Need to know my rights regarding removing someone from my property. Girlfriend, not married, she's not on the deed or mortgage. My lawyer walked me through it. Give her notice. 30 days written. Keep it documented. Don't change locks until the notice period is up, unless she becomes hostile. Second call, my bank. Removed her as an authorized user on my credit card. She had one for emergencies that she'd been using for regular shopping. Not anymore. Third, canceled the couple's vacation we'd planned for next month. Lost the deposit. Didn't care. Fourth, called the jeweler. Got the return policy. 14 days, 80% refund. Set a reminder. Then I texted her, one message. "You made your feelings clear tonight. I'll be by tomorrow to discuss you moving out of my house." Blocked her number. Blocked her on everything. Phone kept buzzing. Calls from her friends, her sister, unknown numbers. Ignored them all. Went to bed. Update 1. Showed up at the house the next afternoon. Let myself in. She was on the couch with her sister and 2 friends. All 3 of them glaring at me like I was the villain. "We need to talk," I said. "You blocked me," she said. "How dare you? After you embarrassed me last night." "Wait, after I embarrassed her? You laughed in my face when I proposed." "Because it was ridiculous. We talked about this. I told you I wasn't ready for marriage." "No, you didn't. You've been hinting about proposals for months, the Pinterest boards, the comments at your friend's wedding, the hints about this exact restaurant." Herber's sister jumped in. "Maybe if you actually listened to her, you'd know she wasn't ready." "Stay out of this," I said, keeping my voice level. "This is between us." My girlfriend stood up. "You don't get to kick me out. I live here. This is my house. My name on the deed. You're not on the lease. You're a guest who's worn out her welcome. You can't just throw me out." I pulled out a paper from my pocket. Her formal written notice to vacate. 30 days. "Yes, I can. Legally, here's your notice. You have 30 days. One of her friends stood up. "This is insane. You're punishing her for being honest." She humiliated me in public, laughed at me. Now she's out. Simple. "You're such a child," my girlfriend yelled. "This is why I wasn't ready to marry you. You're immature and petty." "Cool. You've got 30 days. You just make arrangements." Her sister grabbed the notice from my hand, started reading it. "This is legal," she said quietly to my girlfriend. "He can do this." The room went silent. "I can't believe you're doing this," my girlfriend said. Tears now, not the laughing from last night. "Over one mistake. One very public mistake where you made me look like an idiot in front of 50 people." I panicked. You laughed for a full minute, then told me I was embarrassing myself. I started walking toward the bedroom. I'm taking some of my stuff. You have 30 days for yours. Packed a bag, clothes, laptop, important documents. She followed me, crying, arguing, threatening. You're going to regret this. Probably not. Everyone's going to know what an AITA you are. Tell them I don't care. My dad's a lawyer. He'll sue you. For what? Removing a non-tenant from my property with proper notice? Good luck. Left. Went back to my apartment. Phone was still blowing up. Turned it off. A week went by. Her sister texted from a new number. She's sorry. She wants to talk. She has my email. She can apologize there if she wants. No email came. Instead, things started getting weird. Found out she'd been telling people I proposed as a test to see if she'd say yes. That it was manipulative. That I'd been pressuring her about marriage for months. Complete lies. Our mutual friends started picking sides. Some believed her version, some believed mine. Lost about half my friend group. Then came the dirty tricks. Someone keyed my car. Deep scratches, all 4 doors, no proof, but the timing was suspicious. Got a call from the landlord at my apartment building. Noise complaint. Loud music and parties at all hours. I work from home. In silence. Don't even own a speaker system. Then the credit card charges started appearing. She'd apparently kept a photo of my card before I canceled it. Started using the numbers online. Fraudulent charges totaling about $800. Called the credit card company, reported fraud. They investigated, got the money back, but it was a hassle. Then she tried getting cute with the house. Changed the locks while I was at work. Then she tried getting cute with the house. Changed the locks while I was at work. I showed up to get more clothes and my key didn't work. Called the cops, showed them the deed, my ID matching the deed, the notice to vacate I'd served. They made her let me in. She was screaming about harassment, about how I was making her homeless. The cops looked at the notice, looked at her, told her she had legal occupancy for another 3 weeks and needed to make arrangements. She tried playing the victim. He's being abusive, controlling. One cop looked at me. Sir, you gave proper notice? Yes. And she's not on the deed or any rental agreement? Correct, I have documentation. He turned to her. Ma'am, he's within his legal rights. You need to find alternative housing. After the cops left, she completely lost it. You're destroying my life. Where am I supposed to go? Your parents, your sister, a hotel, not my problem. I can't afford rent on my own, you know that. Should have thought about that before laughing at me in public. It was a mistake. Mistakes have consequences. You humiliated me. Now you deal with yours. Her three friends showed up again. An intervention, apparently. You need to let her stay, one said, at least until she finds a place. No, this is heartless. This is business. She's not my girlfriend. She's not my wife. She's a tenant whose lease is up. They tried guilting me, crying, arguing about compassion, about the relationship we'd had. That relationship ended when she laughed at my proposal. Everything after is just logistics. Left again. Update 2. 3 weeks in, 1 week until she had to be out, things escalated. Her dad showed up at my workplace, walked right into my office. Security didn't stop him because he said he was meeting me for lunch. We need to talk about my daughter. No, we don't. You're making a mistake. She made an error in judgment. You're throwing away 3 years over one night. One very public, very humiliating night where she laughed in my face. She wasn't ready. You pressured her. I never pressured her about anything. She'd been dropping hints for months. I took the hints. Turns out they were fake. My daughter is not a liar. Your daughter is currently in my house, which I've legally asked her to leave, and she's refusing. That's trespassing. Should I call the police? He stood up, started yelling about how I was ruining his daughter's life, how I was manipulative, how he'd make sure everyone knew what I did. Security came, escorted him out. He yelled the whole way. My boss called me in an hour later. What was that about? Explained the situation, the proposal, the breakup, the eviction notice. Jesus, he said, that's rough. Yeah. Need time off? No. Work's the only place I feel normal right now. Then her social media posts started. Didn't see them directly since I blocked her, but people sent me screenshots. Long posts about abusive men and financial abuse and using money as control. Photos of her crying, a GoFundMe for her emergency housing situation. Yes, really. A GoFundMe because her ex-boyfriend wouldn't let her keep living in his house for free. It raised $300, mostly from people who didn't know the full story. Then my mom called. Your girlfriend's mother called me. Ex-girlfriend. She's saying you kicked her daughter out with nowhere to go. I gave her 30 days notice. That's more than legally required. She says you're being cruel. She laughed when I proposed, Mom, in front of 50 people at a restaurant while I was on my knee. Then told me I was embarrassing myself. Silence. She what? Laughed. Thought I was joking. Oh, honey. So yeah, she's out. She can go live with her parents or her sister or figure it out. Not my responsibility anymore. Mom was on my side after that. Even called my girlfriend's mother back and apparently tore into her about raising a daughter who'd publicly humiliate someone. Move-out day came. I showed up with a moving truck I'd rented and a cop just to be safe. She wasn't there. Her sister was packing stuff. She can't face you, her sister said. Don't care. Long as her stuff is out by tonight. You're really doing this. Yep. She loved you. Funny way of showing it. Helped them load the truck. Wanted it done. Wanted her gone. Took 3 hours. Her sister kept making passive-aggressive comments. I ignored all of them. When the truck was loaded, I asked for the keys. House keys, garage opener, everything. She's keeping a key in case she forgot something. No, all keys now. You're paranoid. All keys now. She handed them over, muttering about me being controlling. They left. I changed the locks anyway, same day, then deep cleaned every room. Wanted no trace of her left. Found some things she left behind. Small stuff, photos, a necklace, some books. Boxed it all up. Left it at her parents' house. Couple days later got served with a small claim suit. She was suing me for emotional distress, the cost of moving, and contributions to the household. Showed up to court with my lawyer. She showed up with her dad. No lawyer. Judge asked her to explain her case. She went into this long story about how we were basically married and I'd stolen years of her life and she deserved compensation. Judge asked if there was a written agreement. No. Any documentation of rent payments? No. Any evidence he promised you ownership of the home? No. Then what exactly are you suing for? He kicked me out with nowhere to go. Judge looked at me. My lawyer stood, presented the deed, the notice to vacate. Documentation that I had given 30 days. Photos showing all her belongings had been carefully packed and moved. Your Honor, my client owned the home outright before the relationship. The defendant was a guest. She was given proper notice to vacate. All belongings were returned. There was no lease, no rental agreement, no ownership claim. Judge looked back at my ex. Ma'am, you have no case. Case dismissed. She started crying. This isn't fair. He ruined my life. Judge wasn't sympathetic. You weren't married. You weren't on the deed. He gave you proper notice. That's the law. You're free to leave. Her dad started arguing. Judge told him to sit down or be held in contempt. They left. She was sobbing. I felt nothing. No victory, no sadness, just relief that it was over. Final update. 2 months later, still processing everything. The social media posts eventually stopped. She deleted the GoFundMe, deleted most of the posts about me. Heard through a mutual friend she moved back in with her parents, working at her old job, dating someone new already. Good for her, I guess. The ring, returned it, got the refund, paid off some credit card debt, treated myself to a nice TV. The house felt empty for a while. Too big for one person, too quiet, too full of memories I didn't want anymore. Ended up renting out a room to a buddy from college. He needed a place. I needed the company. Works out. Some of our mutual friends never came back. They believed her version, that I was controlling, that I kicked her out over nothing. Whatever. People believe what they want. The friends who stayed are the real ones. They knew the truth. They saw how she treated me. They understood why I did what I did. My mom keeps asking if I'm dating. Not yet. Not ready. Maybe not for a while. Trust is weird now. I can't help but wonder if someone's actually into me, or just into what I can provide. The proposal thing messed me up more than I thought it would. The public humiliation, the laughing, 50 people watching me get rejected and mocked. Therapy's helping. Started going a month ago, working through it. What did I learn? A few things. Don't ignore red flags. She'd shown signs of being entitled before, little things. I wrote them off as quirks. They weren't quirks, they were warnings. Actions speak louder than words. She said she loved me. But when it mattered, when I was vulnerable and exposed, she laughed. Protect yourself legally, financially, emotionally. I owned that house. If I hadn't, this would have been way messier. People will always have opinions. Half will think you're the villain. Half will think you're the hero. Neither matters, you know what happened. That's enough. And humiliation isn't something you just get over. It sticks. It changes how you see yourself and others. Working on not letting it define me. Do I regret proposing? Yeah. Not because of what happened after, but because I clearly misread everything. Thought we were on the same page. Turns out she was reading a different book entirely. Do I regret how I handled it? Not really. Could have been messier, could have been uglier, could have let her stay out of guilt or pressure, but I didn't. Set boundaries, enforced them, protected my peace. Some people think that makes me cold. Maybe they're right. But I'm okay with that. The house doesn't feel haunted anymore. Started redecorating. Different furniture, different vibe. Making it mine instead of ours. Saw her at a grocery store last week. She pretended not to see me. I did the same. That felt like closure. No drama, no confrontation. Just two people who used to know each other, now strangers. Her dad sent one last email threatening legal action. My lawyer sent back a cease and desist. Haven't heard from them since. Life moves on. That's what I'm learning. The humiliation fades, the anger fades. What's left is just life. And it's not bad, not great, not terrible, just life. Got a date next week, friend of a friend. We'll see how it goes. Not expecting much, just trying to get back out there. Would I propose again someday? Maybe. To the right person. In private. After very clear conversations about where we both stand. But that's a long way off. For now, I'm good. Got my house. Got my job. Got my dog. Adopted one last month. German Shepherd mix named something ridiculous that my roommate picked. Got my peace, that's enough. Someone commented on one of my posts asking if I'd take her back if she apologized. No, hell no. Not because I'm holding a grudge, but because she showed me exactly who she is when things matter. When it's real, and I believe her. She's someone who laughs at vulnerability, who thinks proposals are jokes, who plays victim when consequences show up. That's not someone you build a life with, so no. She could show up with a marching band and a 10-page apology. Still no. Closed that door, locked it, moved on. And honestly, I'm better for it. 3 years feels like a waste sometimes, but maybe it was an investment. Not in her. In learning what I won't accept. Learning that I deserve better than someone who thinks my love is a punchline. That's worth something. So yeah, that's where I am. Single. Healing. Building a life that's actually mine. Not sure what's next, but whatever it is, it won't involve someone who laughs when I'm on my knee. That's my line, and I'm keeping it.